So there are 7 sections in this canto, the secret knowledge. And each one shares with us a different aspect or facet of the knowledge that has come to King Aswapati as a result of the action in him of the goddess who gives inspiration, revelation, intuition, discrimination. He's come to possess this secret knowledge, the knowledge which is underlying this whole poem. And in this canto, this very special canto, in 7 sections, Aurobindo shares different aspects of this knowledge with us. So the section that we are reading now begins, I'm reading now on page 60, just after the break. All here, where each thing seems its lonely self, are figures of the soul transcendent one. Only by him they are. His breath is their life. An unseen presence molds the oblivious clay. A playmate in the mighty mother's game, one came upon the dubious whirling globe to hide from her pursuit in force and form. A secret spirit in the inconscient sleep, a shapeless energy, a voiceless word. He was here before the elements could emerge, before there was light of mind or life could breathe. Accomplice of her cosmic huge pretense. His semblances he turns to real shapes and makes the symbol equal with the truth. He gives to his timeless thoughts a form in time. He is the substance, he the self of things. She has forged from him her works of skill and might. She wraps him in the magic of her moods and makes of his myriad truths her countless dreams. That's where we stopped last time. In this passage which we're going to read today, Aurobindo will tell us about the 2 in 1 and how this conscious force, who is the Shakti, who executes his wishes, how they are complementary. But here in this section, Aurobindo is concentrating on the one who has conceived all this, and he says he's even made himself the substance. That pure existence, transcendent existence, has become this substance that we call matter. But at the same time, he is the self, the essential, personal truth of all this. So she, his force, has forged from him as substance, all her works of skill and might. And she wraps him in the magic of her moods and makes, this is this executrix aspect, no? Makes of his myriad truths, his truths which are too many to be counted. She makes him, expresses him in the form of the countless dreams of nature. So I'm going to read on from there to the bottom of the page, and then we'll come back and look at each sentence separately. The Master of Being has come down to her, an immortal child born in the fugitive years. In objects wrought, in the person she conceives, dreaming she chases her idea of him, and catches here a look and there a jest. Ever he repeats in them his ceaseless births. He is the maker and the world he made. He is the vision and he is the seer. He is himself, the actor and the act. He is himself, the knower and the known. He is himself, the dreamer and the dream. There are two who are one and play in many worlds. In knowledge and ignorance they have spoken and met, and light and darkness are their eyes' interchange. Our pleasure and pain are their wrestle and embrace. Our deeds, our hopes are intimate to their tale. They are married secretly in our thought and life. The universe is an endless masquerade, for nothing here is utterly what it seems. It is a dream, fact, vision of a truth, which but for the dream would not be wholly true. A phenomenon stands out significant against dim backgrounds of eternity. We accept its face and pass by all it means. A part is seen. We take it for the whole. Thus have they made their play with us for roles. Author and actor with himself as seen, he moves there as the soul, as nature, she. Actually, you should start to read, Sebastian.
Just continue.
From that line, the master of being, line 540. Please just read one sentence.
The master of being has come down to her. An immortal child, born in the fugitive years.
Fugitive years. Fugitive, the years that are running away.
In objects wrought, the person she conceives. Dreaming, she chooses her idea of him. And catches here a look, and there a gest. Ever he repeats in them his ceaseless birth.
Ceaseless birth. Okay, we'll stop there. So this is the mighty mother. No, at the beginning of the section, it says that the one has come down here on the dubious whirling globe as a playmate in the mighty mother's game. They are playmates. So he is the master of being, but he's come down here into this material universe to play with her. And he's come in the form of an immortal child. He doesn't die, but he's born again and again and again in all different forms, all these ceaseless births. In the fugitive years, this is in time, in these years that are running away, and off they go, and then they're gone forever. And she, here in the world, the mighty mother, the conscious force that works in nature's breast, she's dreaming. In her dreams, she's chasing her concept, her ideas of the Lord who is her lover. So she expresses those dreams in the objects, in the things that she makes, and in the people, the persons that she conceives and gives birth to. All these forms that she gives birth to are her dreams of him and all his possibilities. And here she catches just a little bit of him. I remember that when Aurorbindo's statue was made, Nirodha was asked about it as the person, one of the people closest to Aurobindo, and he said, "Yes, you've caught something of him." So maybe just a look or a gesture. Yeah. And he accepts to inhabit these forms that she conceives. Ever he repeats in them his ceaseless births. In all these forms that she makes, he accepts to inhabit them, live in them, and through them. Bhavan.
He is the maker and the world he made. He is the vision and he is the seer. He is himself the actor and the act. He is himself the knower and the known. He is himself the dreamer and the dreamer.
Yes. So all these are different figures of that soul, transcendent one, who there is not limited by any forms or roles or expressions. Here in the world, he's repeating his ceaseless births. So he is the maker, he's the creator, but he also embodies himself as the world he has made. He's the vision. He has envisioned all this. And now he's enjoying seeing his vision expressed in matter. He is himself the actor and the act, the actions and the deeds that he enacts in the world. He is himself the knower, the one consciousness which knows all that is to be known. He is himself the dreamer and the dream. Kamala.
There are two who are one and play in many worlds. In knowledge and ignorance, they have spoken and met. And light and darkness are their eyes interchange. All pleasure and pain are their vessel and embrace. Our deeds, our hopes are intimate to their tale. They are married secretly in our thought and life.
Thank you. So I think this is where he introduces us for the first time to the two who are one. And we'll be reading about them for a couple of sections still. And at the bottom of the page he tells us that we think of them as soul and nature. But these two are the playmates. In one of his aphorisms, Aurobindo says, God and nature are like a boy and girl at play and in love, and they run away from each other in order to be chased, and they hide from each other in order to be found. So all this world is their play, not only the world that we know, but all the worlds. And they speak to each other and meet and play in knowledge and in ignorance, in the full light of consciousness and in this twilight that is our current state. And the dualities of light and darkness, it's like the glances that they exchange between them. Light and darkness are their eyes interchange. Our pleasure and pain are their wrestle and embrace. In this world we experience these different states, of strife and conflict, and of love and harmony. These are expressions of their relationships, and the play of and contact between them. And our deeds, what we do, and our hopes, what we hope and dream of, are intimate to their tale. Our hopes and dreams are part of their story. Even at the heart of their story, perhaps incidents and expressions of their relationships. They are married secretly in our thought and life, in our consciousness and the way that we live out our consciousness in this material world. Both of them, the two who are one, are married secretly in our thought and life.
Why secretly? Why secretly?
Yes. Why secretly? Well, we don't notice it. It's a secret to us. It's part of the secret knowledge. Yeah, yeah. We don't see them at it. They are just playing out their game. Alice.
The universe is an endless masquerade, for nothing here is utterly what it seems. It is a dream fact, vision of a truth, which, but for the dream, would not be wholly true. A phenomenon stands out significant against dim backgrounds of eternity. We accept its face and pass by all it means. A part is seen, we take it for the whole.
So a masquerade. You know what is a masquerade? When everybody dresses up and puts on disguise so you can't tell who is what. He says the universe is like that. Everything is disguised. Nothing here in this universe that we know is utterly what it seems. It may be partly what it seems to be, but that's not the whole of it. No? And then he tells us all the things here, whatever it is that we see or experience, is a dream fact, vision of a truth which but for the dream would not be wholly true. Very important 2 lines in this poem. So many spiritual traditions tell us that the world is a dream, an illusion, unreal. No? But here Aurobindo is telling us that this dream is in a way a fact. The dream itself is a fact. And it expresses a vision of a truth, an underlying truth. And that underlying truth would not be wholly true if it didn't get expressed also as the dream. It's part of his affirmation of the value and the reality of this world. Although we see it's a masquerade and we only see a part of it and take the part for the whole, the part is also, it's a part of the whole, and the whole needs it to be complete. A phenomenon, a thing or a happening. We see something, it strikes us, we're aware of it, and we see it against dim backgrounds of eternity. We see only this one particular thing which is catching our attention. That's what we see. We accept its face, its appearance, and we miss everything that appearance is signifying, everything that it means. We just see a part and we think that's the whole of it. This happens so much with events. Things happen and we miss so much of its significance because we think, oh, that shouldn't have happened. Or why did that thing happen? And we do it too with each other. We see each other, these familiar faces, but we don't know the truth that's behind each of them. And we make judgments about this part that we see. This is good, this is bad, this should be, this shouldn't be. And we're missing the point completely because we're passing by all that it really means. So important. Lorraine.
Thus have they made their play with us for roles. Author and actor with himself as seen. He moves there as the soul, as nature she.
Yes. So these are the two who are one. Together they've made up this play, this Leela of the universe. And we are the roles that they play. Of course, they play other roles also. And he's the author and the main actor. And it's all being played out in the scenery that he himself is projecting for us. He's the scene as well. And in all this scene and this play, he's moving there as the soul, as the innermost consciousness. And she plays as nature, as the outward expression of that consciousness in the world. Devin.
Here on the earth, where we must fill our parts, we know not how shall run the drama's course. Our uttered sentences wail in their thought. Her mighty plan she holds back from our sight. She has concealed her glory and her bliss, and disguised the love and wisdom in her heart. Of all the marvel and beauty that are hers, only a darkened little we can see.
So we are playing out our parts. The parts are given to us. We just have to act them out. But we don't know how this drama is going to work out. That's hidden from us. We don't know how the drama's course is going to work out. We just have to play our parts from moment to moment. And we say certain things, we are given certain lines to say, but those uttered sentences, the words that we speak, are in a way veiling the thought that nature and the Lord are expressing through us. She has a plan. She has a mighty plan. At the very end of the canto, he'll tell us what her plan is. But she's holding it back from our sight. She doesn't tell us the end of the story. At the beginning. That wouldn't be so interesting, would it? Or maybe it would. So she's concealed, she's hidden her qualities. She's hidden who she is. She's concealed her glory and her bliss. And she's disguised the love and wisdom in her heart, the Supreme Divine Mother, the embodiment of all glory and bliss and love and wisdom, of all the marvel and beauty that are hers. Only a darkened little we can feel. If at all we notice the Mother's presence in material nature around us in the world and in all the things that happen, it's only a very little of all her glory and bliss and love and wisdom. And it's darkened. It's darkened by our ignorance and by the inertia of matter and inconscience. That's about the Mother. Shamala.
He who wears
a diminished Godhead here. He has forsaken his omnipotence. His calm he has foregone and infinity. He knows her only. He has forgotten himself. To her he abandons all to make her great.
You can go on a bit further.
He hopes in her to find himself anew, incarnate, wedding his infinity's peace to her creative passion's ecstasy.
Yes. So he too, the master of being, the Lord of existence, he's here as the soul, but he's also wearing a divinity of some kind, but made very small, diminished. We don't see all his greatness, no? Incarnating here in the forms of matter, in the persons that nature creates. He's forsaken, he's given up his omnipotence, his all-powerful mastery. He's given up his calm and his infinity. He's identified himself completely with her, with nature at work in the world. He's forgotten himself. He's forgotten his true nature. That's why we have forgotten, because he has forgotten. He in us has forgotten who he really is. He's abandoned everything to her, to make her great. He hopes in her, in nature and the creations of nature, to find himself anew, in a new way, in a body, incarnate, in an individual form, but uniting, wedding his infinity's peace to her creative passion's ecstasy. So difficult for us to understand this, no? He was the one, no? The sole transcendent one. And he's decided to manifest all this. And he's called on his creative, dynamic, conscious force to create a world for him that he can play in, or that they can play in together. And so he's forgotten, so that he can play this game of hide and seek, so that they can play this game of hide and seek in us and in the world. He knows her only nature. He has forgotten himself. And he's put everything in her hands. He's leaving it all to her. Shalini? Is it Shalini? Yes.
Although possessor of the earth and heavens, he leaves to her the cosmic management and watches all, a witness of her scene. A supernumerary on her stage, he speaks no words or hides behind the wings. He takes birth in her word, waits on her will, divines her enigmatic gesture sense, the fluctuating chance turns of her mood, works out her meanings seems not to know, and serves her secret purpose in long time.
Yes. So he is the Lord who possesses and enjoys not only the earth, but the heavens, everything. But he's decided to leave to her, to leave to his conscious force, all the management of the universe. And he just watches what she's doing. He's the witness of her scene, of this wonderful drama that she rolls out in front of him. He's part of the drama, but only as a supernumerary. A supernumerary is an actor who only just appears in the crowd scenes. He doesn't have anything to say. Only if you need a crowd or a group of people on stage, you get we call them, in filming, we call them extras. Yeah? So on her stage, he's there just as a supernumerary. He's not really acting. He doesn't speak any words. He may not even appear on stage. He may be just hiding behind the wings. The wings are the scenery that we have on a stage. And the actors are behind the scene, and then they come out from the wings if they have to do or say something on stage. So, like that, he is born in her world. He's not there just as a encompassing spirit or a director from the distance. He takes birth in the world of nature. And then he waits on her will. He does just what she tells him. And as a conscious being, he's divining, he's guessing, trying to find out the meaning of the strange things that she does. Her enigmatic gestures. She may make a gesture, it must have a meaning, but he has to work out what she means and what she wants him to do. This is very difficult for us. And he tries to make sense of the fluctuating chance turns of her mood. She seems to have so many moods, and at one minute she's like this, and at another minute she's quite different. And how to make sense of all that? He has to try to work out her meanings, to become conscious. What is nature meaning now? Because she seems not to know what she's doing. But whatever it is, he serves her purpose, her secret purpose, in long time, incarnated in all these different forms, acting out all these different roles. Whatever it is, he is serving her purpose, the purpose of nature. He's leaving it all to her. Varadarajan.
One too great for him, he worships her. He adores her as his agent of desire. He yields to her as the more of his will. He burns the incense of his nights and days, offerings like the splendor of sacrifice. A rapt solicitor for her lover's place, his bliss in her to him, the whole world. He grows to her in all his being's powers. He reads by her God's hidden gain in things.
Yes, so this is one of their relationships. And she seems like a very powerful being, as one too great for him. He just worships nature and follows everything. He adores her as his regent of desire. She's the one who decides what he shall want and what he shall do. She moves his will, and he just accepts that. He gives way to the movements of nature ruling his will. In this way, we can see it as if he's making a constant sacrifice. And all his nights and days are like incense sticks that he's burning and offering to her in worship, in adoration. He's really rapt. He's hypnotized by her, fascinated by her, and he's always hoping and begging for her love and grace. And the bliss that he feels in her is his whole world. He grows through her. It's through this nourishment and leading of nature that the individual grows in all the powers of his individual being. Nature is growing him up. And by observing nature, he reads by her God's hidden aim in things. So he's serving her, he's adoring her, and he's searching for knowledge through her. Amrita.
What is the meaning of yield here?
Sorry?
Of yield. He yields to her.
He yield. Yield means to submit, to give way.
O a couturier in your countless retinue, content to be with her and feel her near, he makes the most of the little that she gives, and all she doesn't rest with his own delight. A glance can make his whole day wonderful. A word from her lips.
A word.
From your lips with happiness wins the hours.
Yes, a courtier. It's the old medieval idea of the courtier who's the lord of the castle is away. The lady is ruling everything, and her courtiers adore her and worship her and do whatever she asks them to do. No? So she has a countless retinue. She has so many courtiers. He's just one of them. But still, he's so happy to be with her, to feel her near to him. So she can't give him much. There are so many. But he makes the most of the little that she gives. And all that she does, he drapes with his own delight. Whatever it is that she does, he takes delight in it and enjoys it. If she just happens to look his way for a moment, a glance can make his whole day wonderful. A word from her lips, if she speaks to him with happiness, wings the hours, makes the day pass so quickly. Did you read Varadarajan? Varadarajan, did you read? Have you read yet? Yes. Okay, Joel, please.
He leads on her for all he does and is. He builds on her largesses his proud fortune praise, and trails his peacock plumage joy of life, and sends in the glory of her passing smile. In 1,000 ways he serves her royal needs. He makes the hours pivot around her will, makes all reflect her whims. All is there laid. This whole wide world is only he and she.
So he leans on her, he relies on her for everything that he does, everything that he is. He builds on her largesses, on her generous gifts. Largesse, it's something that royalty or nobles, they distribute to their subjects. Gifts, rich gifts. So whatever she gives him, that's what he uses to build up his proud, fortunate days. And like a peacock, he trails his peacock plumage joy of life. Sometimes we see the peacocks doing this, no? Moving around so proudly and trailing their tails, showing off how fortunate and beautiful and wonderful they are. And he suns, he basks in the glory of her passing smile. At the same time, in 1,000 ways, he's serving her royal needs. She's the center of his life, of his days. He makes the hours pivot around her will. Pivot, it's a piece of metal around which something moves. In a hinge, we have a pivot, so the door can open and close. So all his days have to move around what she wants. So he makes everything in the world reflect her whims, her fancies, her caprices, whatever she wants. So everything in the universe for him is the play, the game between the two of them. This whole wide world is only he and she, God and nature. In what we read in Essays on the Gita last night, Aurobindo said something similar in a much more philosophical way, that everything, all action and movement in this world is the outcome of the interaction between these two. The Lord, the Self, the One, and his dynamic force, creative force in nature. So we'll read more about their relationship in the next section.
The Master of Being has come down to her, an immortal child born in the fugitive years. In objects wrought, in the persons she conceives, dreaming she chases her idea of him, and catches here a look and there a jest. Ever he repeats in them his ceaseless births. He is the maker and the world he made. He is the vision and he is the seer. He is himself the actor and the act. He is himself the knower and the known. He is himself the dreamer and the dream. There are two who are one and play in many worlds. In knowledge and ignorance they have spoken and met, and light and darkness are their eyes' interchange. Our pleasure and pain are their wrestle and embrace. Our deeds, our hopes are intimate to their tale. They are married secretly in our thought and life. The universe is an endless masquerade, for nothing here is utterly what it seems. It is a dream fact, a vision of a truth which but for the dream would not be wholly true. A phenomenon stands out significant against dim backgrounds of eternity. We accept its face and pass by all it means. A part is seen, we take it for the whole. Thus have they made their play, with us for roles. Author and actor, with himself as seen, he moves there as the soul, as nature she. Here on the earth, where we must fill our parts, we know not how shall run the drama's course. Our uttered sentences veil in their thought. Her mighty plan she holds back from our sight. She has concealed her glory and her bliss, and disguised the love and wisdom in her heart. Of all the marvel and beauty that are hers, only a darkened little we can feel. He too wears a diminished Godhead here. He has forsaken his omnipotence. His calm he has forgone, and infinity. He knows her only. He has forgotten himself. To her he abandons all to make her great. He hopes in her to find himself anew. Incarnate, wedding his infinity's peace to her creative passion's ecstasy. Although possessor of the earth and heavens, he leaves to her the cosmic management and watches all, the witness of her scene. A supernumerary on her stage, he speaks no words or hides behind the wings. He takes birth in her world, waits on her will, divines her enigmatic gestures sense, the fluctuating chance turns of her mood, works out her meanings she seems not to know, and serves her secret purpose in long time. As one too great for him, he worships her. He adores her as his regent of desire. He yields to her as the mover of his will. He burns the incense of his nights and days, offering his life a splendor of sacrifice. A rapt solicitor for her love and grace, his bliss in her to him is his whole world. He grows through her in all his being's powers. He reads by her God's hidden aim in things. Or a courtier in her countless retinue, content to be with her and feel her near, he makes the most of the little that she gives, and all she does drapes with his own delight. A glance can make his whole day wonderful. A word from her lips with happiness wings the hours. He leans on her for all he does and is. He builds on her largesses his proud, fortunate days, and trails his peacock plumage joy of life, and suns in the glory of her passing smile. In 1,000 ways he serves her royal needs. He makes the hours pivot around her will, makes all reflect her whims. All is their play. This whole wide world is only he and she.